Thank you. Certainly appreciate this many scholars out with us tonight. Welcome you to the Dougherty County School System regular board meeting, board briefing. Mr. Superintendent, do we have any presentations or public comments?
Yes, ma'am. I think we have a few. and, uh, and we'll start with our presentation of our graduates of the Merchant Generate program. Ms. Bryant, you come on up, and Ms. Albritton, if you'll come up. These two young ladies, as you may recall, we gave reports several times last year about a program in partnership with Mercer University, wherein our teachers who have bachelor's degrees in a field but no education degree get an opportunity to go through the Mercer Generate program to earn a Master's of Arts in Teaching, free of charge. In fact, they got a $500 stipend each month to defray some of the travel costs associated with going to Mercer once a month. And we have about 20 people in that program through the Dougherty County School System. And these two young ladies are the first ones to graduate. They graduated in December, and they're the first ones to graduate. And so now you have Ms. Bryant, is Mary Akers. I think she teaches Georgia Studies. Yes, and Ms. Albritton is at Raven Springs Middle, and she teaches history, social studies. And so they are now fully certified teachers with a Master's of Arts in Teaching from Mercer University. And the best part about it is free of charge to them. So congratulations. And that's what partnership is all about. When our teacher pipeline, trying to increase our teacher pipeline and have recruitment and retention incentives, and this is certainly one of them. And so we'll present them with a certificate as well as the superintendent's coin of distinction, which is an indication of exceptional work and accomplishments on behalf of students and employees of the Dougherty County School System. So if you would come up, and Madam Chair, if you don't mind, and any other board members that want to come up and get a picture with these two young ladies, feel free to do so.
Vice Chair, I'm sure you want to.
Take care of your chief. And I do have one piece of information that I failed to mention. She's a proud daughter of Mr. Yvette Simmons. Ms. Bryant is the proud daughter of Mr. Yvette Simmons, our principal at Sherwood Acres Elementary School. So when I was walking back, she gave me that look, like you didn't tell him. So I had to make sure I told her, because otherwise she's going to renege on our deal to stay here for another 5 years before she retires. But congratulations again, Ms. Albritton and Ms. Bryant. Well deserved. All right. Next, Madam Chair, we have Alice Coachman Elementary School. We talk about achievement at our schools. And Alice Coachman, as you know, is on the CSI list for comprehensive school improvement needs. And every year, the state of Georgia Department of Education recognizes CSI schools that made significant progress. And so out of 180 schools that identified as CSI schools, Alice Coachman is one of the ones who was recognized as a CSI progress school because of their tremendous academic achievement and progress. To be a progress school, you have to have at least a 5% increase in your content mastery over the last year, and also at least 80% out of 100 in one of 3 other categories: progress, readiness, and closing gaps. And so congratulations to Dr. Mathis, come on up, Dr. Mathis, who is principal at Alice Coachman Elementary School. And thank you for your hard work. And she came here from Peach County. We recruited her from Peach County, and she was at a school with a federal designation in Peach County, and she worked hard and led that school to exit that designation, and she well on the way of doing the same thing at Alice Coachman. So thank you for your hard work and express our thanks to your staff. We have a certificate for you and also a coin for you, ma'am. All right. We had the pleasure of meeting with leaders from the Georgia Department of Education last week regarding our schools with federal designations, and they could not rave enough about the progress they've seen at Alice Coachman and the leadership of Dr. Mathis and the system and structure she's put in place to ensure that progress is sustained. So, Dr. Mathis, thank you again for your leadership. We always say leadership matters, and it certainly does matter, and we see the impact of your leadership at Alice Coachman, and we look forward to that for years to come. All right, thank you. Next, Madam Chair, we have one of my favorite times in a board meeting. We get to recognize our students for remarkable achievement. And at this point, I'll turn the program over to our Director of Community Relations, Ms. Lakeisha Bryant Bruce.
Students, as I call your names, please come to the front. We will give you your certificates and ask you to pause for pictures. If the school has a large group, we will break the group into parts. First up, Lake Park Elementary School. Hadley Hudgens, Albany FFL Tournament Core Value Award. Stay right there. Isabella Sancho, Albany FFL Tournament Core Value Award. Yes, sir. And I'm going to call all of these Lake Park students together, and we can hold the applause till at the end of this group. Caitlin Wells, Peyton Wingfield, and Preston Wingfield, all Albany FFL Tournament Core Value Award. The next set of students are all from Robert Cross Middle School. I'm going to call your names. Please come get your awards. We'll hold applause till we get to the end of the first group. Charlie Carter, first place DCSS District Academic Team Competition and first place Page Academic Team Competition. Athena Garvey, first place DCSS District Academic Team Competition, first place Page Academic Team Competition. Demi Gopal, first place DCSS Academic Team Competition, first place Page Academic Team Competition. The next set of students have these same awards, so I'm just going to call their names. Kelvin Hernandez Gonzalez, Braxton Mitchell, Daniela Okafor, Mohammed Silla, Nathan Wells. And one student is unable to be here because he has another activity. His dad is getting his awards tonight, Jason Robertson. Michael Bassey. Okay, we had two students just come. Okay, and Tiffany Olabisi Ojo. Westover Comprehensive High School, Patrick Hosley, DCSS All-County Honor Band, first chair. Dylan Keeley, DCSS All-County Honor Band, first chair tenor sax and second chair trumpet. Dylan also is getting the Georgia Music Educators Association first chair jazz band, first chair symphonic band, tenor saxophone. Ashanti Morris, DCSS All-County Honor Band, first chair clarinet and first chair bass clarinet. Jordan Pratt, DCSS All-County Honor Band, second chair euphonium. And Kyler White, DCSS All-County Honor Band, first chair euphonium. Monroe Comprehensive High School, Emily Ramirez, second place Albany Chalk Fest Technical Art category, and Avon Smith, Marine Option Naval Reserve Officer Training Corps Scholarship, $180,000. Dougherty Comprehensive High School, and we will have to break this group up for photos. Samantha Aberdeen, All-Star Cast Regional. Zamira Austin, second place in drawing, Albany Technical College Homecoming Art Exhibition, and also the Georgia National Fair, first place drawing category 2. All-County Band, Jocelyn Barfield, Joshua Bird, Travion Carnegie. Travion also is GMEA District 2 Honor Band and UGA Jan Fest Honor Band. Audria Cole, second team All-Region Outfielder. Davion Davis, third place Visual Arts Division 2, Digitally Enhanced Photography, Georgia State Beta Club. Marley Davis. Marley has several awards. Second place on-site cake decorating, Georgia State Beta Club competition. Second place in sculpture, Albany Museum of Art Student Art Exhibition. First place in photography, Albany Technical College Homecoming Art Exhibition. Third place in drawing, Albany Technical College Homecoming Art Exhibition. Third place in sculpture, Albany Technical College Homecoming Art Exhibition. And third place, Children of the Dream Art Competition. Shantae Dotson, All-County Honor Band, GMEA District 2 Honor Band, and UGA Jan Fest Honor Band. Rashad Frazier, All-County Band, and DCSS All-County Honor Band. Zatavian Hardwick, 1 AAA Second Team All-Region Linebacker Football. Sasha Hill, second team All-Region Catcher. Coleman Hill, All-County Band. Isaiah Johnson, third place, 10th grade Social Studies, Georgia State Beta Club Convention. And Academic Decathlon Scholastic, highest points in social science. Kendarvis Jones, 1 AAA second team All-Region Defensive Line Football. Khalil Jones, Region 1 AAA first team All-Region Defensive End Football. Tiana Kennedy, All-County Band. Mashari Kennedy, All-County Band. And Antoine Lockett, 1 AAA first team All-Region Wide Receiver Football. Get in front of the podium. Okay. Y'all scoot down a little bit. Scoot to your right. Everybody go to your right. Tyshawn McGee, 1 AAA second team All-Region Offensive Line Football. Gino McGee, Region 1 AAA Football, honorable mention. Kelsey Salter, first place, 9th grade Social Studies, Georgia State Beta Club Convention. First place, Visual Arts Division, Digitally Enhanced Photography, Georgia State Beta Club Convention. Lauren Salter, 3rd place, 11th grade Social Studies, Georgia State Beta Club Convention. Darania Simmons, first team All-Region Utility Player. Go ahead and slide down. Braylon Steele, 1 AAA first team All-Region Wide Receiver Football. John Thomas, 1 AAA second team All-Region Defensive Line Football. Jalexi Thomas, first team All-Region Pitcher. Kashantas Vicks, All-County Band. Trayvon Williams, 1 AAA team All-Region Linebacker Football. And Elizabeth Yoakum, Georgia National Fair second place drawing category 2. Will a representative from each school please pick up your remaining certificates in the back? Thank you. What'd you say, sir? It's supposed to turn, though. The cord's up under. Okay, there we go.
No, Reverend Yass. No, woman.
Once again, thank you, Mr. Dyer, and your staff and the staff of the schools, ensuring our scholars are being recognized. So I certainly appreciate it, Mr. Dyer.
That concludes our presentations, ma'am. We do have public comments by Reverend Yass Johnson. Reverend Johnson, please come forward.
Good evening to everybody. Of course, when I stand behind the mic, I'm ready to preach. First of all, I want to take this opportunity to thank you all for allowing me to come to stand before you. And my presentation to you today is concerning early detection as it relates to children with diabetes. First of all, just to give you a brief, in case you don't know, you've heard of diabetes, but you don't know too much about it. But type 1 diabetes is a chronic condition where the body actually cannot produce insulin. Hormones are needed to move the sugar level or the glucose. When a person is dealing with type 1 diabetes, it is a life-threatening condition and is often developed in children and requires daily injections to manage blood sugar levels, and there is currently no cure. Type 2 diabetes is a chronic disease that occurs when the body does not produce enough insulin or use insulin properly, which also result in high blood sugar levels. You have symptoms like increased thirst, increased urination, hunger, fatigue, blurred vision, numbness of the fingers and the toes, sores that don't heal, just to name a few. Early detection in diabetes with children starts with the age of 10. In my studies, in my research, I noticed that even in my research, type 2 diabetes has risen 62% in youths and children, and type 1, 17% since COVID. When we look at our children and early detection, I'm one of those kids that I discovered that I had pre-diabetic. And with that, I remember as a kid having these little spots in my eyes, just moving around, didn't know, exactly what they were. As a kid, I saw vision coming in and out. But my mom at the time, she didn't know because I really wasn't telling her, they had to get glasses and what have you. And so I also experienced here, like last year, when a parent child passed out at school. And when the child passed out at school, took the child to the doctor, and discovered that the child was a type 1 diabetic. And now the child has a insulin pack on him. And I just was going around to different parents and asking asking the parents to take their child to the doctor just to see. Even in my church, I asked them to do the same thing, and to discover that a lot of those parents' children had diabetes, and they didn't know it. And so my presentation to you all is to come to see that what can we do, or to do something about our kids, our young kids in the schools being tested at an early age so that we can prevent long suffering with our children, so we can prevent them from being ill at a later stage in life, because diabetics, a lot of times you've seen people with amputation of the legs, amputation of the toes. I've seen some people that lost their lives because of the diabetes. So we can test our children at an early age so that we can make those students, allow those students to have a healthy life, and allowing the parents the opportunity also to take care of their child, and they themselves may have diabetes themselves. So that's my presentation, and I would like to see how can we come together and make this happen by getting our children tested early for diabetes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Johnson, for that. And we certainly, I think it's about awareness. And we have to get parent permission in order to do testing. But we do have school-based health clinics. We have 4 school-based health clinics on our campuses where we should be able to provide those testing services if parents choose to allow their students to do so. So I think I'm going to ask that we explore the opportunity for an awareness campaign, depending on the extensiveness of the test. We should be able to do that on campus. Without parents having to take off work and without students having to miss school to get that done. So we'll certainly look into that. childhood diabetes is certainly a growing concern, and as we've seen many such cases in our school-based health clinics, and we've discovered some, much like you discovered with your the student last year. Something happens, they have an episode, and we test them, and then they are determined to have diabetes. So we can get that testing done, screening done early, find out before they have a medical episode, then that certainly would be better. So thank you for that comment, and for those comments rather, and we'll certainly explore an awareness campaign and see if we can provide those tests on campus using our school-based health clinics. So thank you very much for that.
Sure. Question. Now, when we're looking at the making those connections, what kind of turnaround feedback? How soon can we, get some kind of feedback?
Well, I don't know what the timeline is going to be. We first have to find out whether or not our clinics can do it, and if they can, we'll get together an awareness campaign, and we can get the word out to the parents in pretty short order. But I don't want to give you a time frame right now until I talk to the folks at the clinic, because if there's testing, they have to have testing supplies and things of that nature. And I don't know what the procurement requirements are for those and the costs associated with it.
Sure.
So we have to find all that out before we give an answer on that. We'll certainly follow back up with you on that.
Sure.
All right.
Sure. I would like to hear some comments from some other your board members concerning.
Well, sir, there we opportunity for public comments. And so if they want to comment, they certainly can. But usually they defer those. I don't think anybody's opposed to that. But if they certainly can comment if they choose to.
Sure.
But usually the administration of those efforts are left to the administration.
Right.
But Madam Chair.
No, if I'm not mistaken, you reached out to all the board members, and we were all in favor with you bringing it before our superintendent. That will be a staff recommendation. So I'm sure, Mr. Dyer, you've given the calls to give us aware of the situation. Does any board member has anything besides the staff go forward and finding the information necessary to see if it's feasible for us to take it any further for awareness? Any board members have anything for Mr. Dyer?
Chairman, I would just like to commend Reverend Years for bringing this forth to, and of course, as the superintendent stated, this is a job for the staff, but I want to commend you personally for gathering this information. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
For a job well done.
Mr. Chung, again, thank you, sir, for always bringing awareness to this board. We certainly appreciate you advocating for the students in our community, always.
Thank you, and thank you all for doing such a well job as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Dyer, at this time, we will be reviewing the agenda items. This will give the board members an opportunity to ask any questions, make any comments. Just for note, please know that we will have to have an executive session to discuss personnel, student matters, and safety. Board members, do we have any questions, comments for the agenda? We have placed, it's not an addendum, but for agenda 6B, an extra out-of-state field trip approval. It was on your desk when you walked up. Any questions about agenda?
I want to ask about 4, I believe, about Dougherty High, the new gymnasium. If you can expand on that a little bit, Mr. Dyer would appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Of course, you know, Dougherty High was the last of the high schools to get a major renovation, phase 1 of renovation. And so it was Westover first, Monroe second, Dougherty High third. And so when we did phase 2, Dougherty High was first with phase 2. They went immediately from phase 1 to phase 2. Then Monroe was phase 2, and Westover is, you see on B, is phase 3.
Right.
They're phase 2. But when we did Westover phase 2, we left out something that I think is very important. The gymnasium was not expanded. In fact, when it was renovated, the occupancy was, the capacity was smaller than it was before. And so we said that as soon as possible, that we would want to do a phase 3 that includes expansion of the gymnasium. So you see item 4B, which is the Dougherty High School phase 3 health and physical education complex, which includes the gymnasium. And we've been going through earlier the school year, the board approved an architect, Jenny Wright, Ryan, and Lynn, out of Thomasville, Georgia. And you'll see the architect of record. He's here, Mr. Andrew Crook. He's here right now. And also approved the program manager for that project. Dukes Edwards and Dukes is the lead program manager, along with a firm, Acon out of Atlanta. Mr. Dukes is president as well. They were the program managers. And so there's been a lot of work going on between the architect, program manager, and our construction staff. More importantly, the administration at Dougherty, working on a program, they're working on a design. So we've got the design complete, and the bid documents were released. Bids came in late January, and the low bid was $16,580,000 by CGM Construction Group, LLC, out of Colquitt, Georgia. And we're recommending that the board approve construction contract for CGM Construction Group for the Dougherty High Phase 3 Health and Physical Education Complex. Any more questions?
Any other questions?
Thank you. Answer my question. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
And just, we'll go back up, but just to let you know that I know one of our favorite Trojans in the audience.
Yes.
So we'll make sure he has a copy of it before he leaves tonight. Thank you, Coach Boo, for always supporting us.
Yeah, I think Coach Poole wanted to table that, but I told him not to.
I bought him a copy personally for him to be able to share tonight.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Just to make sure we do things correctly. Our regular board meeting January 13th. Any questions about that minutes? Public hearing January 23rd, the noon and the 6 p.m. hearing. Or the public hearing February the 4th, noon and the 6 p.m. hearing. Hearing none, I'll go really to the employment of personnel. Any questions? Release of personnel. Since Ms. Fennessy went with 5, any questions about the Westover 5B to ensure?
5 and 4.
He did 4. He had asked for the 4 Dougherty High, so I was wondering if there's any question about Westover. 4B. Hearing none. 5, any questions? Or number 6. And of course, when we go into our regular meeting, we will be doing the consideration adoption for the hearing for House Bill 581. Okay, Mr. Dyer, any committee reports?
No.
Mr. Dyer, are you ready for your report?
Yes, ma'am. All right. Superintendent's update for February 10th, 2025. We'll talk about strategic planning process. Dr. Finley will take care of that. Then we have a few legislative updates, our villa update, celebrations and announcements, and then, of course, an executive session for personnel, student matters, and safety, I think you said.
Yes, sir.
All right. Of course, the vision of the Dougherty County School System is that we are a destination school system that, in collaboration with families and community stakeholders, provides quality educational and social development experiences that empowers graduates to be successful and impactful contributors to society. And our mission is to meet the academic and non-academic needs of our students with rigorous and relevant education experiences that equip them to succeed in life. And next, we'll turn it over to Dr. Finley to talk about our strategic planning process.
Good evening. Esteemed members of the Board of Education, Superintendent, Mr. Dyer, district and school level faculty and staff, parents, students, and community stakeholders. It is both an honor and a privilege to be here today to provide a very brief overview of our strategic plan review process. We'll start with our priority areas: early literacy, academic rigor and relevance for all students, social and emotional wellness, investment in human capital, and family and community engagement. Our objectives, our charge, first and foremost, is to review the strategic plan to determine through stakeholder feedback whether we need to extend the current plan with or without revision or create a new plan. In addition to that, engage multiple stakeholders in the strategic plan review process to develop the next multi-year strategic plan for Dougherty County School System. And lastly, ensure that strategic plan has the necessary components, a shared vision, mission, core values, theory of action, priority areas, high leverage strategies, and action steps. Strategic plan defined. Our strategic plan is the roadmap for our district, developed with multiple stakeholders that communicates a school district shared vision, mission, core values, priorities, and with measurable outcomes, high leverage strategies, and progress monitoring methods. Scoreboards, which is your progress monitoring tool to communicate to all stakeholders how we're performing with our goals. This slide is just a visual of our strategic plan components. You will see the mission and the vision. This is our current strategic plan now. The theory of action, priority with measurable goals, the strategic initiatives, and the action items. The strategic plan review process. What you'll find are 8 steps that have been drafted here. The first one being the planning stage. That's where you create a charter, a project charter. You create committees, steering committee, and we'll talk about the multiple committees in the future slides. Process planning, and also a timeline. Step 2, we're going to have 2 to 3 convening meetings. This is where the steering committee meets. The steering committee, they're responsible for guiding the process, providing input, and that steering committee is made up of multiple stakeholders, which includes district staff, school level staff, some parent, and also board representation. Next you see number 3 is a needs assessment. It's important that we pull all data and we make decisions from there. So we need to know what we're doing well, what are areas of improvement, and also looking at our priorities that we currently have to see if they're still the relevant priorities that we need to move the district forward. Stakeholder focus groups. This is where we will strategically meet with small groups of parents, of students, business leaders, community leaders, and get feedback to help inform the strategic plan process. This process is done with multiple stakeholders. The feedback is extremely important, and we take that very seriously. Small group meetings, we'll talk more about that later, but the small group meetings, we get a lot of feedback from our community stakeholders, which helps inform the plan to get the priorities, but we have to have measurable goals aligned with those priorities. In addition to that, we need the small groups with the experts in the actual fields to help develop the high leverage strategies and the action items that come with that. And finalization, that's reviewing everything, refining, making sure that it's ready for the public, and also that we communicate it in an effective manner. This is just a visual of what I just covered. This is a timeline. You'll see tentative because the dates may change a little bit, so I didn't put specific dates because everybody's calendars are all over the place. So just ensuring that we're mindful of the time of the stakeholders that we want to make sure that has the opportunity to provide feedback. So that's why you don't see specific dates on this particular timeline. but you can see the months where we're shooting to ensure that we meet each area in this particular timeline. Committee, teams, and roles. We have Stern Committee I mentioned earlier. I mentioned their role, collaboration, help guide the process for us to create our next strategic plan within our district. A core team, very small group, helps with the day-to-day, ensuring that the process that is in place is being carried out. The small group teams I already mentioned earlier as well. Those are the experts in the area, the contents areas for us to be able to identify those high leverage strategies and also put measurable tools beside them so that we can monitor progress over time. Meeting descriptions. I mentioned here the stakeholder focus group meetings. Again, those meetings are targeted for small groups to ensure that we're hitting multiple pockets of stakeholders to inform our decisions as it relates to creating a new strategic plan or the next strategic plan. And the other committees I've mentioned already, so I won't go into it again. This is just an example. The needs assessment, these are the examples of questions that will be asked. So what are we doing well in Dougherty County school system? What opportunities exist for improvement for Dougherty County school system? And are the current priorities representative of what DCSS should invest in and focus efforts on for continuous improvement? The feedback from the questions asked will help determine what our next priorities and our strategic plan will look like. Finalization, this is again refining, looking at all components, all the work that has went into the particular plan, and making sure that the content, the grammar, the punctuation, project management, who's the owner, who's responsible, timelines, meeting cadence. I mentioned the scoreboard earlier, visual scoreboard, so that all community stakeholders can see how we're doing over time, which is extremely important. Approval and adoption process, superintendent approval, and after that approval, the recommendation via superintendent to the Board of Education for consideration for adoption. Communication plan, it's important that once the plan is created and adopted with your grace, that it's communicated properly. A plan is just a plan if it just sits on the shelf. So we have to have a plan for communication. We want to make sure that our goals are known, not just in our district and our community, because we serve the community. So we want to make sure that we have a communication plan to communicate our goals and our priorities in our district. And that's what the strategy map is about, a one-pager. The strategic plan is multiple pages, but a one-pager that we can go out and we can hand to people, we can have on our website, so people can clearly see our vision, our mission, our priority areas, and what we're focused on in our district. At this time, any questions?
Any board members have a question? Hearing none, thank you. Mr. Dyer?
Thank you, Dr. Finley. Appreciate that. We started that, we had our first meeting of the steering committee last week, and had a good discussion. So we'll move forward with identifying community stakeholder groups and having those convening meetings that Dr. Finley mentioned. We'll keep track with the schedule that he presented. And of course, we know that that'll be fluid depending on feedback. Very quickly, legislative updates, I won't go into a lot. We had a pretty extensive presentation ceremony today. So we'll speak briefly on just a few topics. One, on two that you may be interested in. One, House Bill 245 is introduced in the House. And one of the sponsors actually is Gerald Green, one of our representatives, and it's to add a poverty factor into the quality basic education formula. You know, that's one of our priorities, and that was presented to Mr. Green and the local delegation. It was the week of our Thanksgiving break. Mr. Davis and Dr. Finley represented the school system at that meeting, and I guess they did a good job because he's sponsoring that bill, and with I think it's 6 sponsors, co-sponsors to that bill. So that's getting some traction there. Yes.
Bill number
It's House Bill 245. And another bill that's being introduced is one we have not discussed at length, but we did have some discussion regarding it last year. It's House Bill 340, and it is the Distraction-Free Education Act, and it is in essence a cell phone ban that's being proposed. Some school systems have it in various forms, and this is one that's being proposed to be state law. So all school systems would have to comply with that. We have some others that I'll give you in written form. I emailed to you, but for the sake of time, those are the ones that were the most interesting, I would say, and one directly tied to our legislative priority, which is the QBE funding formula, and with the challenges that we've seen and uncertainty that we've seen the last couple of weeks with the U.S. Department of Education and the funding associated with it. I think every bit of funding that we can get from the state will certainly be needed. Next, Villa. As you know, we had application process with Villa. Our sessions began this Thursday, and Mr. Will Davis, who was here earlier in the red shirt, he was one of the first 20 to apply. So he said he was looking forward to his session on Thursday. I told him we were gonna give him a test, so make sure he pays attention. But we have 20 or 33 applicants were accepted on a first come, first served basis. And then we reserved some slots for the City of Albany and Dougherty County governments, as well as participants in the Albany Area Chamber of Commerce Political Leadership Institute, as well as a few slots for our local school governance team and Superintendent Charter Advisory Panel participants. And I'm happy to say that both our city manager and our county administrator have signed up to be participants in the Villa program. So look forward to sharing that information with them. Of course, that's the program we've seen this before. So we start this week, Thursday, and then about every 2 weeks, we'll have another session, and it'll culminate with the graduation ceremony on April 24th. Celebrations and announcements. Of course, we met Ms. Albritton and Ms. Bryant already. We got their awards, accommodations. We already recognized Alice Coachman and their CSI Progress School. I just keep it in my report, so we have a document that we put in the minutes. And then congratulations again to Dougherty. I'm pretty sure you'll see this group coming up at a future meeting. The Dougherty High School wrestling team, the region champions for Region 1 AAA. So congratulations to Dougherty High and the wrestling team.
All right.
All right.
I hadn't done that since.
It's like a tough group, so they did a great job. And although Dougherty did win the team wrestling competition, Lewis Cobb III of Monroe High School, he's the Region 1 AAA winner for his weight class at 165 pounds. So congratulations to Lewis Cobb III. Both Mr. Cobb and the entire Dougherty High team will be representing Dougherty County at the state wrestling meet later this week. I think it's Thursday. So good luck to the team of Dougherty and to Mr. Cobb as they continue to move forward in the state tournament. And finally, Monroe boys and girls basketball team, they both won the regular season, have the best record in the regular season, so they get to host the Region AAA basketball tournament. That tournament started today with Westover hosting Cairo. Started at 5 p.m. You saw Mr. Chung came in a little late. He was at the game. He was texting me with updates, and Westover did win, so they will be. And then tomorrow Dougherty boys, they finished third. They will host Cairo for an opportunity to participate in the semifinals. And so the semifinals will be held on Thursday. Dougherty girls, which is the #2 seed, they'll host the highest remaining seed of the girls' games played today. And the Westover boys, which is the #2 seed on the boys' side, will host the highest remaining seed of the boys' games today. And of course, Monroe boys and girls, that's #1 seeds, will host the lowest remaining seeds. Then on Friday, we'll have the championships, the consolation games at 4 and 5:30, championship games for girls at 7, and for boys at 8:30. So please attend if you have an opportunity. It'll be a great time, and of course, your Georgia High School Association passes ballot for the playoffs. Madam Chair, that's all I have in terms of updates. Again, we had an extensive presentations component, so I just wanted to give a brief report, considering Dr. Finley gave a very important part of our strategic plan process, but I will provide you written updates on some of the other legislation that may impact the school system and public education in Georgia via email later this week.
Mr. Dyer, I know we have an executive session. Will it be something that we will have to deal with on? Okay, so we can do it after the meeting. Okay, can we get a motion to adjourn this meeting to go into our regular meeting?
Madam Chair, I move that we adjourn this meeting, go into executive.
Regular.
We don't call it in order, just call it.
Oh, okay. Well, I was trying to see if any board members needed a break before we started another.
No, we want.
Okay, well, that's it. Can everyone please stand for a moment of silence and pledge allegiance? Please silence your cell phone. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Mr. Dyer. I just don't want to miss anything. Do we have any public comments or presentation?
I think we don't have any more public comments.
Okay, do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
So move, Madam Chair,
Madam Chair, that with the addition of the item for the Dougherty field trip.
With the Dougherty,
with the addition of the items for the Dougherty field trip.
do I have a second?
Second.
It's been properly moved in second to adopt the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the motion passed, the agenda is adopted. Do we have any changes to the minutes for the board meeting for January 13th? The public hearing for the noon and 6 p.m. on January 23rd, and the public hearing February 4th for noon and 6 p.m. Do I entertain a motion?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion is passed. The minutes are approved. Can I get an interim motion to approve the consent agenda for items 2 through 6?
Second.
It's been properly moved in second to approve the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The motion passed. The agenda is approved. Now, I will entertain a motion to adopt the item 7, resolution to opt out of the statewide floating homestead tax exemption, House Bill 581.
So
So-
moved.
Second.
I'm glad y'all excited. It's been properly moved in second to adopt the, do I have, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the motion is passed, the resolution is adopted. Next, I entertain a motion to go in executive session to discuss personnel, student matters, and safety.
Madam Chair, so moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? We are now in executive session. Please take your belongings. Certainly appreciate it. Who all you want?